All right, it says I am live. Hello, Gun Nation. How is everyone doing out there? But we will give a quick roll call to the ones that came in early. We got Mike I, got Pistol Pete, Casey Dolph, CZ Shadow 2. See if there's some questions here. I think we already had some of them pop in. I'd like to hear what you guys have found to be the most reliable auto pistol you have ever owned. Wow. Yeah, that's actually a great question, Pistol Pete. If people want to start throwing out their answers, I'll give you mine. Uh, my, well, I'll say this: my CZP10F has not had one failure. My CZP10C, my orange and black one, has not had one failure. My Glock has had one failure, or a couple of failures actually, but I don't know if they were actually ammo or not. It is what it is. And like I said, I've got so many rounds through those things, and it's not continuous with that Glock. It was like first after I had some stuff done. So maybe it was some Cerakote in there. Who knows what on the Glock? But, it is what it is. But if anybody wants to answer that question. Yeah, Pistol Pete, I don't go and throw them in the mud and do all that kind of stuff. Hello, Dirt Track, Bagger Bro, Dennis Buckner. And my CZ Shadow 2, I think I actually had, and that was because I was changing some firing pins, I think, and that, messed with some springs and stuff like that. So stock, I've never had a CZ, so to say, fail. But once you start, changing some things, stuff can happen. Hello, Ray Cole. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Matt Moore, reloading from the hot pot. How are you, sir? Ranger 10. Casey's 226 Legion has been flawless for him. Hello. Well, tell her happy birthday, Dennis Buckner. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, and I actually just celebrated a big milestone this week. Just had our 30-year wedding anniversary. So 30 years of marriage. So I thought I'm pretty proud of that. Not a lot of people can say that. And I know many people can. Some people got me topped by far, but pretty excited about that. Love my wife. She's my best friend. And she puts up with me. So what's not to like about her? Hello, Kathleen. How are you? Yes, and you know what's funny, Pistol Pete? I know that that's very common. Knock on wood. I have not had a trigger return spring break, and I have not had the little pin in your slide break. Now, one thing, I've always talked about in the past is if you're going to dry fire with them, use an O-ring on the inside where the firing pin is, or use a snap cap. Knock on wood. I mean, and y'all know I have tons of rounds through those. I've never broken any of those. Hello, Milkman. Reloading has his Canic TP9 SF. Has been stupid reliable. That's great, man. Thank you, Ranger. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it so much. Heck, my dad's having a birthday coming up, too. So, but, and if y'all have any questions, please definitely let us know. I just have a few comments that people have left. I had one person that has a channel, and they're subscribed to me. I'm subscribed to them. And I mean, we're friends and stuff like that. But he was kind of razzing me. Why don't you watch all my videos? Why don't you watch all my videos? And he doesn't watch all my videos. And I was just like, man, I'm subscribed to so many people. It's so hard to keep up, with all the different videos everybody puts out. I know not everyone can catch my videos too, but I just appreciate all the ones that can. But it's very hard to go through, your feeds and watch every single video of all the people that you want to support and things like that. And sometimes I'll go through, and if I can't watch them, I'll leave like, the little, hook 'em horn thing, or, I mean, I try to at least do something for the algorithm. And a lot of them I do watch, but, I'd love to watch all of them. Thank you, Ranger. But let's see here. Not the marrying type. Thank you, Reloading. I appreciate it. Yeah, I met her, and she used to be a model, but I met her when I used to be good looking, I guess you could say. And I guess I had a great impression the first time. So she stuck with me and even knows the gun habits I had, have known that for 1,000 years and has no problem with it. So I'm a lucky man, definitely a lucky man. Yes, and that's something I had written down. I did see the new 226 X5, not the Legion, but the X5, the steel gun, and it reminds me of the old German gun they used to have. And I think that's going to be a really cool option. And they're making them, optic ready. So you're going to have one with a Coca-Cola grip, more of the classic version, and then you're going to have more of like the Target version, I guess you could say. But I think that's a really good option if somebody wants that type of gun. I think those are going to be really cool. Matt Moore says, so Big J, I have both a PCR and a P01 Urban Gray. The P01 has had trigger work and the PCR is bone stock. I'm not sure if it's the sights or trigger, but I noticeably suck with the PCR at distance. I hear you. I'm not a big fan of those sights on the stock sights on the PO1 or the PCR at all. I really hate those sights, to be honest with you, because they're so tiny, and it's not. I mean, really, it's partially with, or it's mostly with my eyes, because my eyes are not that great. But those are both fantastic guns. I will say, out of both of them, I tend to shoot the PO1 better because of the dust cover. Adds a little more weight on the nose. So I do shoot that one a little better versus the PCR, but they're both fantastic guns. It's just depending on if you want kind of a SPO1 look or you want the CZ75 original look. That's why there's both those models. But, I think they're both great guns. It's just really whichever one you want. I will say this. Once you dot them and put better trigger guts in them, it really does really open up that gun quite a bit. Big fan of that. Ranger said was married for, where did it go? Ranger said he has been married for 4 years, or was married for 4 years, and then been single for 42. Well, there you go. Thank you, Pistol Pete. I appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely like the Dawson fiber optics. Hello, Gun Snob. How are you? Bald and Curious. How are you, man? Can't afford any guns. Yeah, you just bought an expensive one. How you doing, Rock Chalk 08? Thanks, Big J, for the post about the P10F deal by Arms Unlimited. Got a P10F optic ready coming. Now it's time to find an optic plate. The CZ and the CZ Customs are out of stock. 401 manufacturing, and I guess it cut off. But I actually have a 401 manufacturing plate also. I've used it. Seems to do well. So if you can get one of those, that should be definitely sufficient. Hello, Chris. How are you doing? Chris from the 740. He's a fairly younger newlywed. I remember when he got married. We're having a little tin cup this evening. But yeah, it's, and I've had this was another thing. Actually, I don't have it written down tonight, but this is another question I had in the past. Why do you trick out guns? Why don't you shoot them just like they come out of the box? I've shot tons of gun stock. I mean, and I'm probably a lot older than, well, if you look at my algorithms or analytics or whatever you want to say, my dominant viewing is between 18 and I think it's 18 and like 35 or something like that. And of course, I love all the older folks because I'm old. Um, but a lot of the younger generation, or I should say the younger people out there, they haven't shot everything that's been around, or maybe the old double action only guns, or the, revolvers or the single actions and stuff like that. But I really enjoy, especially if it's a gun that I know that I like, I really enjoy taking that gun, fixing it up, whether it be Cerakote, milling it for an optic, trigger jobs, things like that, to make it even better so I enjoy it even more. It's not as a crutch because I can shoot the gun as it is out of the box. I've shot pretty much all the guns out there, not everything, of course, but if I can make it a little better and put my stamp on it, why not do it? If you can put a dot because your eyesight's not as great, why not enhance that and put a dot on it to make it even more fun to shoot and more accurate for you? Or if you want a better trigger to make it more accurate for you. As far as the self-defense crap of, oh, if you put an aftermarket trigger, you're going straight to jail, straight to jail. Screw that. I've said it. Y'all have heard it numerous times, and I'll say it again. I don't care if it's a 12-pound hammer or 12-pound trigger or a 1-pound trigger. If I mean to shoot you, I mean to shoot you. That's the way it is. So I don't have, I don't put my finger on the bang switch. I'm not worried about negligent discharges, things like that. But I've been shooting for ever, knock on wood. I've never had an issue with anything. Very, very safe. I did take that back. I did have a slam fire one time, and it was actually, I think, Bald was there when it happened. But I did have a slam fire, but it was on a reloaded round. It was stuck, I guess, stuck back. It wasn't inset like it should have been, so it was a slam fire. So when I dropped the slide, I had it aimed at the ground. Perfect. Didn't have my finger on the trigger. I was just holding it, but I had it aimed down. And when I dropped the slide, it actually dropped it on the round and sent one through the grass or through the dirt. But that was a slam fire, so I didn't touch it. But let's see here. Out of those two, Rock Chalk, I would go with the C&H Precision, honestly. I would. There's nothing wrong with the 401 manufacturing. I have one, but the C&H Precision is a better plate, and I would go with that one. You might also check QVO Tactical. They were making them for a long time, and also ANR Designs. ANR Designs. Alex was making them for a while too. So I don't know if either one of those two places have them or still make them, but you could check. Big Johnson Guns and Gear, what happened to your job? I was with the same company for 15 years. They decided to close that department completely. So let me and my guys go, even my director go. And, I've been looking for things. I've had some offers. I'm just kind of weighing my options right this moment. I hopefully will be making a decision and have it completely locked down within this next week. So, but as it happens, or after it's happened and locked down, I will definitely let everyone know. But I really appreciate the great thoughts, the prayers, definitely needed. Really, really appreciate that. Yes, I did see that. Dirt Trek says the Glock AR-15 photos leaked. Glock into a flooded AR market. Terrible timing. Missed the boat on that. Line by years. What can they bring to the market this late? You got to think about it this way. They're making them for a contract. If they win the contract or don't win the contract, they will eventually sell them to the market. I know plenty of Glock guys that will probably buy them. So they could say they have a Glock AR. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. I don't know. I personally don't really care about them. I think there's probably better options and maybe even for less cost of what that thing, and there's no actual data of what the cost is going to be. I'm sure it's not going to be cheap. I do like the quick rail attachment. It's got a quick lever where you can pop it and pull the rail off quickly. So if it is able to have a quick change barrel, that's a really nice feature where you can maybe go from a 5.56 barrel to a 300 blackout barrel and then snap the rail back on. So that could definitely be a great feature. But who knows? I guess as it comes out and it's really out there, then we'll all know. Matt Moore is saying, I kind of feel like all pistols should be CZs and all CZs should be DASA and metal framed. Polymer and striker fired has its place, but I don't enjoy shooting them like the classic CZs. Um, I mean, I would agree with that. I really enjoy alloy or metal pistols, steel pistols, you might say. But, polymer has its place. Some people really want lightness. They don't want to carry around a heavier pistol. I get it. Um, and polymer does help absorb recoil for a lot of people that could be recoil sensitive. It does allow flex. If you're not familiar with that, it really does work. That's why, what's funny is way back on my video when I was comparing the P07 to the P01, way back, I said when I was shooting it, we all know that I'm not recoil sensitive. I can shoot any damn gun out there. I've shot tons of them. But I was trying to explain to a viewer that might not have shot either one of them. And I said, really, to me, the P01 feels more snappy. Now, I wasn't meaning it's hard to control or anything like that. I was just meaning out of the two, I felt the more snappiness out of the P01 because it's an alloy frame gun. The P07 allowed more flex, and people about lost their mind and told me, oh, you don't know how to shoot if you're saying that's snappy. Those guns are not snappy. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, good God, dude. I'm like, I'm just explaining it to someone who's maybe never shot one where they might shoot it and go, hey, this is a little snappy. And also you have to remember, I can't get the good master grip on it like a lot of people can because my hands are so damn big. So to me, when a gun's moving around, it could be a little more snappy. But, it's not that it's either one or bad. I was just trying to give a novice some sort of an idea of maybe what to expect. Thank you, Ray Cole. I appreciate it so much. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you? Yeah, exactly, Ranger. If their name's on it, it'll sell. Kathleen, you're exactly right. In this political anti-gun time, prosecutors are using gun cases to gain political points, and I agree with that. They're trying to ban this and ban that, and like I've said numerous times, if you listen to the news, everything we have is illegal, and they want to sue gun manufacturers, and they want to do this and they want to do that. But what about car deaths? Are you going to sue Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, or all of these other places? No, you can't. So how can you hold somebody accountable? That's like if I own this, if I buy a fork from Chinette or whoever, I don't know, and I use that as a weapon. Can I sue the guy who made the fork? I mean, that's just stupid. Makes no sense. Or a Louisville Slugger. Can I sue Louisville Slugger for using a baseball bat? I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're just grasping at straws. But at the end of the day, like I've told everybody, whatever they pass, whatever stupid crap they do, whatever shit that they think they're going to do or do, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Just going to leave it at that. We could throw everything in a barrel and see what sticks. I posted, Ray Cole, I posted one. You can go in the community. Uh, there's one in there from, oh, how old was I? I think I was 19. I think I was 19 in that picture, but it's in my community tab way down there somewhere. And I'm just chilling in a chair, got a cap on, and got my little vote for Pedro mustache, my little chicken crap mustache. Yeah, I thought my crap didn't stink. Pistol Pete saying Honest Outlaw was saying the M&P metal has more felt recoil than a polymer pistol. It's true, they do. Not that it's bad, it's just if you're trying to explain something to someone, that's the easiest way to say it is felt recoil, snappiness, um, you know, more wiggle, however you want to say it. But real gun guys get it. I think a lot of these people are just like they're brand loyal to that one gun they own. And that's the thing. I'm not loyal. I mean, I like a lot of different guns, but I'm not going to sell my soul to that one gun company like some people do. If they buy a Glock, good Lord, Glock's the best thing since sliced bread and everything else sucks. Y'all know I like MPA, I like Staccato, I like CZ, and I like Glock for what it is. But just to say that's the only gun, and I hate to say it this way, but those are people that probably have one pistol, one shotgun, and one rifle, and those are the best in the world. And they'll fight till the death to prove their point. No reason for that. Kind of like that old thing between Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. Which is the best? Hello, Clyde. How are you? Hello, Abigail. That's the thing, Kathleen. The anti-gun people don't know facts about guns. They hear all this gibberish regurgitated, and they regurgitate the same bullshit. And if they would actually go out and take some courses and learn, like they don't even know what the parts are. They think when you put a pistol brace on something, it turns it into an automatic weapon. We all heard that. If you watch that, it's, that idiot said that. I can't remember his name. But you know, I mean, it's crazy. Matt Moore, Big J, how about the new 2024 Dark Horse Mustang GT? Haven't wanted a new Mustang in a long time, but I want that one, or would want that one. Yes, I was actually in the previous world. I was actually part of designing or upfitting some stuff onto that vehicle, that and some others that are coming out. I'm not a huge Mustang fan either. However, that's a pretty damn cool Mustang. The new GT Shelby 500, I believe, is even going to be better than the Dark Horse. But yeah, I mean, Mustang's really having a lot of new stuff coming out. And speaking with the new Chargers and stuff like that, they're going to be coming out with the EV. And they're dropping the V8s, I believe, after next year. I think it's either next year or the year after. They're dropping all the Hemis. Um, I think that's a bad mistake, but it is what it is. Maybe something will change between now and then. But yeah, I mean, there's some cool cars coming out. There's some very fast cars coming out. If y'all saw the thing I put out today with the Tesla that had the tray on the back with the gas powered generator on it, I mean, that's what everybody's going to be looking at if they're going to start trying to pull this crap, because the infrastructure is not set up for it. It won't be for a long time. If you've seen the lines in California waiting to get into the Tesla stations, it's just car after car after car after car lined up trying to get in. I mean, that's what it's going to be. So, I know they think they're doing the right thing, but it's just, and, we've talked about this before, the carbon footprint and the weight and the damage that an all EV vehicle will do. It's amazing. People do not realize what they're looking at. So it's a hell of a lot of weight in those cars. And they go through tires like crazy. So that's another thing. Kathleen, you were exactly right. I've said that. The best gun in the world is the one you shoot the best. However, I will kind of add to your comment. It is the one you shoot the best until you try others. And that's the thing. I've proven it to even friends of mine. They're like, this gun is the best gun since sliced bread. And they shoot it well because they know that gun. I've handed them another polymer gun, just a different brand that they have not tried, and they actually shot it even better than the one they thought was the best. Or I've handed them a 2011 with a single action trigger, and then they really shot it good. And they're like, holy crap. And I'm like, don't start talking and don't start saying it's the best until you've tried all the others, or at least tried a multitude of guns. Because you only know what you know. You don't know what you haven't tried. Same with vehicles and everything else too. Clyde says, picking up my 16-inch 308, but want to get a swap under, and 300 blackout for my 10.5556. What's the optimal barrel length for 300 blackout? 8 to 10.3. Clyde, I will say this. I've got 10.5s. The little shorties do not work for me, and I'll show you. The little short boys, I'm like this. It's just uncomfortable to shoot. It hurts your neck. Even if you have a high rise on it, it's just not comfortable because you don't have enough hand grip for me. I've got 10.5s. My favorite, just because I have long old arms, my favorite is a 12.5. That's my favorite, but it just depends on what works for you. On 300 blackout, you really need at least a 7-inch barrel, at least, depending on the twist rate, but at least a 7-inch barrel to optimize a 300 blackout. 16, it's kind of overkill, but the sweet spot, and I didn't do this, Mr. Guns and Gear did it. He's got a whiteboard where he really breaks it down with velocities, and this is what really puts the proof in the pudding, is velocities and your feet per second on impact, or your feet per second. And where he found it was around the 12.5 was like the perfect sweet spot, 12 to 12.5. I think it was maybe 11.5 to 12.5 was the sweet spot. So, I already have those. I didn't really know that going in, but I would say between 9 and 12.5 is probably the best sweet spot. It's just my opinion. I'm not a professional, don't claim to be, but that's what I would go with. Hello, Grover. How are you? Grover says, hello, Big J. Glad you make my Wednesdays a bit better and me enlightened. Well, thank you so much, Grover. I really, really appreciate that. Like I said, you all make all of this happen, and I really enjoy doing this. Really kind of makes my week too. Visiting with like-minded people and hopefully helping other people with opinions. I never push anything. The theme, is it worth it? What I was meaning by that, and I had somebody ask me, I get asked this all the time, is it worth it to buy this over this over this? And that's kind of what I meant by, is it worth it? Okay, and I will give an example, and I'm just going to say this, and I'm not knocking anybody's pistol or anything like that, but when you're getting into 2011s, okay, is it worth it to save money, buy a Prodigy or buy a lesser priced 2011, and then putting a whole bunch of money into it to make it work correctly, or to bring it to the potential that you want it to? Or is it better to save up a little more money and then put it into a staccato or maybe an MPA or something like that? And you can take this with any gun. Is it better to buy the $300 striker fired gun, or save up for a better well-known gun with better parts, or maybe the way that you like it? Maybe if you wanted a threaded barrel, is it better to buy it after the fact, or save up and buy it later? And understand everybody's in a different financial situation or has a budget, and understand that. And I get asked this all the time. Would you, what's the best gun I can buy, or what's the best 1911 I can buy for $1,000? Heck, y'all have probably even asked me that too. Well, there's not a whole bunch out there. And that's what I always try to say. People have money in their hand or in their pocket, and it's burning a hole in their pocket. They want to spend it. They want to buy something immediately and get immediate gratification. But if you can save that money a little bit longer, add a little bit more to that pot and a little bit more to that pot, and save up for exactly what you want, I always recommend that. Because if you decide you buy the cheaper gun, the $1,000 gun, and you really hate it, or it's just not what you were expecting, you're either going to have to put money into that gun to make it better, whether it be trigger, springs, grips, whatever it is, stippling, whatever type of gun you purchase. Or would it have been better just to pay the upcharge and have it all done from that exact manufacturer, where they're held liable for whatever might fail, or put a lifetime warranty on it or something like that? Because just for example, if you bought a CZ, and then you bought a Zev threaded barrel, and then you bought a such and such trigger, you've got different manufacturers. That trigger fails, you've got to deal with that company. The barrel doesn't lock up in there correctly, then you got to deal with that company. If Glock, you went back to Glock and said, hey, none of this stuff works, they're going to say, hey, it's all aftermarket stuff. So if you can find a very reputable company where everything is correctly milled to that gun, and I go back to the Prodigy, all the guts in there are all MIM. So if you want to upgrade the trigger, you have to buy an EGW kit because MIM parts are not in spec. You're going to have one that's a little larger, one that's a little smaller. So there's no standardized for that gun. So you have to buy an EGW basically ignition kit, which is the whole setup for the sear, the hammer, all of that stuff, to make sure they're all mated correctly, because those would be billet that you're adding to that gun. Then after you add all of these parts to that gun, you're already at the price of a staccato. But yet, if you ever sell that gun, you are not going to get staccato money. You're going to get Prodigy money, used Prodigy money. It's the same as putting all of these aftermarket parts on a Pinto. At the end of the day, it's still a Ford Pinto. It's not a Ferrari. So you've really got to, I always tell people, buy the better make, because for one, it's going to hold its resale value. And another thing, you can always get better parts for that particular gun that's going to work correctly. So that's what I mean. Is it worth it to just buy something inexpensive? And I'm not saying inexpensive guns aren't good. Don't get me wrong. They all serve their role, and it depends on your budget again. I'm not saying you have to buy $4,000 pistols. That's not what I'm meaning. I'm just meaning sometimes if you save up a little longer, it's probably going to work out for the best. That's all I'm saying. One in 7 twist rate. On a 1 in 7 twist rate, you usually want a little bit longer barrel. The shorter the barrel, you want a 1 in 5 on a 300 blackout. So I would probably, like mine is a 12.5 and it's a 1 in 7. And you can still run a 1 in 5 on it, but the 1 in 5 barrels are definitely in demand and they're not super cheap. But mine stabilizes 55 grain, it will do the subsonic and the supersonic very well. And that's another thing about 300 blackout. Don't think it's going to be one MOA on a 300 blackout. That's not what it's about. So, expect mine from 50 yards is, it's probably one MOA, but at 100 yards, it's probably 3 MOA, honestly, but that's perfectly fine for 300 blackout or 7.62 by 39. And it's not a bench gun. I've got some bench guns that'll shoot that, no problem. They're 1 MOA all day long and half MOA. He says, I'll say this, I've never ever worried or given any thought to how much I spend on a gun after I bought it. We all have budgets, but I'm all about buying quality. Quality lasts, cost doesn't. I will agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Phoenix Redbacks are really nice. They are very, very nice guns. Of course, I know MD Polo. I know him personally. We've texted back and forth. Super nice guy. And he has some beautiful pistols. I love those Phoenix Redbacks. And I had the Sphinx. Sphinx was a fantastic gun. It also takes CZ75 mags, so you can beat that. And I've got tons of those mags. But honestly, by the time I milled the gun, and mine was a threaded barrel, but time I milled the gun and did all the other stuff, and got it the way I liked it, I had some people look at it and stuff, and I needed to change out the trigger, and they don't make a trigger for, or put it this way, I couldn't find a flatter trigger for the Sphinx. So, I was like, man, I just need to get rid of the gun. So I actually sold it and made a crap load of money off of it because they don't make those guns anymore. And they're actually in demand. So, it wasn't any hair off my back. I have plenty of guns, but I did get rid of my Sphinx. Great gun. Love the gun. Shot perfect. All of that. But I just wanted to take it to the next step, and I wasn't able to do that with the parts that are out there and provided. Kathleen is saying, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. What guns are the minimum quality for carry, i.e., brands, etc.? That's really, really hard to say. I haven't proven out every single gun that's out there myself. Um, I would say M&Ps are pretty good to go. I have a big test record with those. Hell, my 1986 439 is a Smith& Wesson. Fantastic gun, runs perfectly. It looks brand new, and I've actually shot the crap out of it. I just take really good care of it because that was my very first gun ever, my very first pistol. Glocks are very reputable. You can have some lemons, as you can with any gun. I would stay with the main brands of guns that are all well known and proven, even Rugers and things like that, because they do hold some resale value. Sometimes, in my instance, or maybe your instance, you're going to have a large, or if you choose to, you're going to have a large gun collection, and you're going to be, as you get older, as I am, I'm just like, you know what, I can't shoot all of these. And granted, if something happened, I could take care of my neighborhood. But hopefully that doesn't ever happen. But it comes to a point where you're like, I can't keep all these guns. And of course, I'll pass many of them down, but I don't want to pass down anything that's unreliable or something I've had problems with or something I'm just not in love with, so to say. And I've said this before, if I can just go down to the store tomorrow, any gun store, and I can pick it up off the shelf, it's not a collector's item or really worth shit to me. It's just not. I'm not trying to hate on anybody that might have those type of guns because they're great guns. It's just if I needed one, I could get one at any time. So that's why I choose to have higher value pistols or higher quality pistols that I truly enjoy shooting. I don't want to go to the range and just, buy a bunch of budget guns and just shoot them for videos. That's not me. I'm not trying to gain a huge, subscriber base by doing that. There's other people that do that. And that's not my forte. I don't buy guns for review and then to turn around and sell. And I know a lot of those people do that. That's just not me. It's not the true me. So I don't want to play a persona of, hey, I have 9 million guns. That's just not me. So I really like to buy and purchase what I'm really, really interested in, what really kind of floats my boat. And that's why I love the guns that I have, and y'all see a lot of them. I have tons of other guns, and I'll just be honest with you, I have tons of other guns that I have not even shot in over 2 or 3 years. Just haven't even pulled the trigger. They're sitting in the safes. They're just sitting there. And I'm just like, I open up the safes and I'm looking at them and I'm going, why do I have those? I mean, not that they're bad guns. It's just, I don't ever shoot them. So, because when I go and I want to shoot a certain gun or a certain caliber or whatever, I have my go-tos that I absolutely love. So it's like, why do I not want to take those? That's kind of what I talked about in that kind of top tier 1911 video. I have cheaper 1911s. I do. And nothing's wrong with them. But why shoot those when you can shoot a much, much top tier type pistol? They're just more fun. So, and like I said, I don't want to tell anybody what to buy. I'm not pushing anything on anyone, but I would just say I look at guns also as an investment. I have sold guns over the years. Every gun to this day, every gun I have sold, I have made money on it. Have made money. Never lost money on one gun that I've ever sold. Swear on the Bible. So they're investments to me, just like cars. I used to have tons of cars. Don't have those anymore, so there you go. Yes. Did you hear about Staccato coming out with a new pistol? Yes, I did. I actually got an email and I have it here so I could share it with y'all. They do have, and it's not really, I don't know if it's a new pistol, but it is, I'll try to show it. Staccato has, have you heard, limited edition Staccato P now available. This is the Staccato Blue Line edition. It is for, they're calling it Fallen Blue. So it has an inlay of an American flag, and it looks like it has a blue line on the flag. Trying to get a good angle, sorry. It does have a carbon comp on it. Does have lines cut in it. A couple of pictures. So they did release that one. It doesn't have a price on here, so I guess you have to check on it. It does come in a really nice box. It's a metal box. It does have a challenge coin in it with some mags. So it's a cool gun. I mean, if you're looking to collect something, I think that's a pretty cool gun. If you believe in supporting, the fallen, I think that's a really cool gun to have. Also, I did see the new C. Put it this way, it looks like the old C, but it has the new, really aggressive grip on it. Texas Gun Experience, I think, has like 10 of them still, or 9 of them now in stock if you want one of them. But it's the original single stack C. It just has the new aggressive grip on it. But it's their slimline carry. But all it is a C. If anybody wants one. Big Johnson, do you think 223 Wild Barrel is as good as 556 Barrel? I actually think it's better. Yes, I do have, I think, 3 223 Wild Barrels on guns, and I do prefer them. A little bit tighter tolerances in the chamber, so it does help with. Well, put it this way: you can look up the nomenclature on it. The way I understand it, and I'm not an AR professional builder or anything like that, but the way I understand it is you do have tighter tolerances. It will, of course, you can shoot 556 or 223 through any wild barrel. It's has a little bit more tapering to it, a little tighter fit, less blow by. There's a lot of benefits of it. But yes, I highly recommend a 223 barrel if you can get one. And there's nothing wrong with the other ones. I do notice a little less carbon. I guess if you could pick out something, and I don't know really how this comes into play. Maybe because it's tighter, but I do notice the bolt carrier group, your BCGs, will be a little. I'm talking a little, not a lot, like the same amount. If you shoot this with a regular 556 223 barrel, and this with a wild barrel, your bolt carrier groups will be a little cleaner. So for what that's worth. And I do honestly think they are a little tighter in the groups, just a little tighter. So hopefully that's not a placebo effect, and somebody with way more experience could probably give you more information on that. I'm just telling you from a person that owns them and have shot them, that's my opinion on them. Hey, has anyone seen the prices on the new 226 X5? No, Dennis, I have not seen the prices on it. I actually have a friend of mine who has one, so he has that gun. So hopefully y'all will be seeing a review on it soon. My buddy has the B&T version of the Sphinx. It's a beautiful gun, but it's not something I felt I need to go out and buy. He has a B&T collector. Yes, B&T did buy Sphinx. So yes, or actually it was Chris or Sphinx, then it was Chris, and then it was B&T. So yes, pretty much their guns are basically the Sphinx versions. And like I said, they're a great gun. Big J, you're turning 29 this year. Ain't really getting older, sir. Yeah. In dog years, maybe. But I appreciate that. Thanks, Reloading. Take care, man. Lake Ozark guy, where are the good places to get a PO7 and PO9 milled for an optic? Could Google it, but I wanted all your opinions. Mine were done right outside of Houston. I've got videos on them that did mine. They did a very good job. Golly, and I've even got links in there. If you want to watch that video and go down to the bottom and tap the link, it'll take you to it. I'm sorry, it's been so long ago. That was like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember the name of the place, but they did a great job. You could check also with Vulcan Machine Works. I don't know if they do PO9s and PO7s. They very well could, and they do fantastic work, so I would highly recommend them. But there you go. And I understand, Kathleen, not everybody can afford a Staccato or a high end 2011. I completely get that. I really, really do. And I'm not saying you have to have one. I just don't want you to buy a low budget 2011 and expect it to run like a scalded dog, because a lot of them don't. They can be very magazine finicky. They can be very spring finicky. Uh, a 2011 slash 1911 is kind of a whole different animal for somebody coming out of a pretty maintenance or maintenance free. I don't know why I can't say that. Maintenance free gun, which is kind of a Glock or a striker fire gun, to a 1911 or 2011. 2011s and 1911s will run dirty. However, they do have to be wet. So you do need to lube them. You put some lube on them, they will run dirty. Heck, I've ran them 800 rounds completely filthy, but lubed. As long as they're lubed, the lube will actually push the carbon out, and at the back, you'll have gunk. Sometimes, it will be wads of crap where the lube is pushing the goo out of it to get it out of the gun to make it continue to run correctly. So there you go. Big J, how big is the Texas Gun Experience? Their inventory sounds amazing. It's a huge place. You can pull it up. You can look my video. I did a video where I walked around the whole entire place. It is a huge facility. They have tons and tons of guns, all the way from high end, all the way down to a lot of lower end guns. They have rifles that are $22,000, all the way to your standard M&Ps rifles and things like that. So it's a great place, fantastic place. Their prices sometimes can be a little higher. It just depends on what you're looking for, but I highly recommend them. I love the people. They treat me really, really good. I've turned on a lot of people to them, sold a lot of guns for them. They always make everybody happy. Just a great place to buy from. And they do take transfers. If you want to transfer something into them, they do take that also. Going to be in the Dallas area later this month. Other than Texas Gun Experience, is there anything else gun worthy to visit, Big J? There's K5 Armory. They're in Trophy Club. It's a really cool place. The owner's super nice. I know him. His name's Frank. K5 has some crazy stuff. They have a lot of rifles and stuff oh gosh, what's the name of it? Shiloh or whatever those high-end rifles are. They carry those. They carry a lot of just really cool stuff that you might not ever see. They carry Atlas. They carry a lot of Wilson Combats. And also Texas Gun Experience carries those too, but it's a nice place. There's also some crappy places I would stay away from. I'm not going to mention their name because I know a lot of people that watch me, they go to those places and I don't want to hate on them. Those are probably the two places I would experience. Oh, also, if you go to Dallas, you need to go to Crap. It's been here for 100 years. It's in downtown Dallas. It is a hardware store and a gun store. God, what is the name of it? Let me look it up real quick and I'll tell you. Oh, it's Ray's Hardware. It's called Ray's Hardware and Guns. You need to go there. That is a really cool place. Ray's Hardware and Sporting Goods. Coley and Noor goes there a lot. I've been there many times. That's a cool place. I think it's one of the oldest gun stores in Dallas. So Ray's Hardware and Sporting Goods. It's a cool place to go check out. Just be aware of where you are. I will say that. What is your favorite grain weight to shoot in 308 and 300 blackout? 308 is 168 Sierra Match. Those are probably the most accurate. They all function. I've shot 150 grain with hog. Just for hogs, I've just shot crap target load stuff. But if you're wanting maximum accuracy, I really like the 168s. Sierra Match Kings. And then for 300 blackout, I actually prefer 125 grain, even over subsonic. I prefer supersonic. It's more accurate. You don't have to account for more of an arc with your supersonic because you can have with your subsonic, you can have a shitload of drop on a 300 blackout. Even at 50 yards, you can have a lot of drop between a super and a sub. I really don't like 150s on 300 blackout. That's kind of the middle of the road, and they're very erratic. I can't, the groups aren't super tight with 150 grain. I can shoot 150 grain and it's okay, but my preferred is 124, or excuse me, 125, 125 grain, 110 grain, because they're just screaming out of there. If I'm shooting subs, it's 220 to 230, but like I said, you're going to have a ton of drop. So, if that helps. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a great night. Hello, Denton. How are you? Oh, and rifle gear. Yeah, I forgot about that. And Shields. Yep. Shields is a cool place. Bauer Precision in Denton is a good place. Defender Outdoors. Yeah, they're a cool place. SK Arms, didn't they go out of business, Denton? They used to be in Flower Mound. I thought they closed up their doors. The store was empty the last time I went there a while back. Alex, I don't leave guns in cars, but I have been to matches where you're out there all the day in 125 plus degree weather. I mean, maybe with the heat index. Never had an issue with an RMR or a SRO or any of that in the heat, but I don't leave guns in cars. I've said that numerous times. I don't, if somebody breaks into your car, I don't want to give them a free gun. Um, I have left optics, like in the box. I've left them in hot cars and never had a problem with them when they're in the box. But, you know, I don't leave Kydex holsters in a hot car either. Yeah, K5 is a really cool place. And just go in and ask for Frank. He's the owner. He's a really nice guy. Hello, Scene O. Are boutique non-AR and Glock guns worth it? It seems I seem to want everything but the logical choices, and there's nothing wrong with that. Scene. I actually prefer unique guns. I don't just like off-the-shelf guns, and I really do appreciate a lot of different brands. Shadow Systems is out of Plano, Texas. They're really good people. They have cool guns. If you're into the Glock type guns, I would have no problem rocking them, and a lot of people still consider them boutique. Q is definitely a boutique gun, and I love Q products. I mean, on their suppressors, I've got some of their parts. Never had a problem with them. They're great. It's a great company for what I know of them. Um, Staccato, I guess you could say they're somewhat boutique. MPA is still boutique in their pistol lines, and I have no problem with them. So, I don't think there's any problem with some of those. Can't carry it the 9 to 5. I understand. I know people who do leave their guns in cars and they've never had a problem with their dots. So, I mean, if that answers your question, I just can't speak for that personally, and I try to speak if I've experienced that. That's the only. I just want to give you my true opinion. But I have friends who do that. One of them works for a major delivery service. He's a driver, and y'all probably know they're like the top two in the world, and he's never had a problem with that. And he leaves it in there every day. Hello, IBG. How are you saying, man? How are you? And if y'all, after this chat, if y'all want to go over to Chris's chat and check him out, please do so. They're good people over there, Gene and Chris. I really like those guys. Super nice guys. They do talk about a lot of reloading stuff. So if y'all are interested in that, check them out. Kind of talk about a bunch of different things too. And if y'all have any questions after this chat, please leave it. I do have some videos that are still in the hopper. And they are some cool guns. It's guns that I've had, that I've proven out, but it's reason, like if you're considering one of these guns, these are the tips that you might think about. So if you want to check those out, I'll probably have one dropping on Friday. The other one might come out next week, but I do plan on dropping one of those on Friday. Bald is saying Big Johnson Guns and Gear. X-Ring had a new MPA down at Clinton House. Got to handle it, and right away I knew why it cost double my bull. Yeah, I'm telling you, MPA is no joke. There's no MIM parts on an MPA at all. It is all billet, so there's no forged parts on that either. Um, I mean, that thing, the tolerance on it is super, super tight. The accuracy is really great. If you've got the money, I would highly, highly recommend an MPA. I'm not just trying to push a product because I own it. They're super nice people. It'll take you a while to have the gun built. However, if you go to Texas Gun Experience, now I was just there this afternoon, they only have 3 MPA DS9 carries, the full size. They only have 3 left in stock. I mean, they've been selling like crazy. I think this is like their second order. They had 7 and now they're down to 3. Um, I mean, they seem to be selling really well. I think they're becoming more popular. The price point on them, even compared to Atlas and Phoenix and stuff like that, is the quality of gun that you're getting. You can't beat that price. I mean, they're great vehicles or great pistols. Abigail is back. She ate some dinner. Yes, they do still make the Max. A lot of people used to make fun of MPA for making those. I think it was a mag issue, and I think they have it corrected. I'm not really interested in those type of, little Mac pistol things. That's just not really my gig. I think they're only like $500. They're not that expensive, but that's just really not my gig. But if you need like a cheap B&T, it's kind of what it is. I don't know as far as the reliability now, but supposedly they are much better. I think they did something with the mag to make them even more reliable. But if you're into that, hey, get one and try it out. I do know that they have a lifetime warranty. MPA, like I said, I'm super, super happy with my 2 MPAs. I absolutely love them. So if anybody, if I can give my opinion honestly, and like Bald said, X-Ring's running one, so they got to be good stuff. But any other questions y'all can think of? Rocking my Texas Gun Experience shirt. Also, I did talk to them. They do not have any of their shirts on the website. However, I talked to them because I've had a lot of people asking me about them. If you call up to Texas Gun Experience and you talk to Michelle, her name is Michelle, she will actually take your order over the phone and she will ship your shirt to you. So they have some badass shirts. I helped with one design. So they got me some orange in there, my little orange Texases. That's that AR shirt that has the orange Texas and the green Texas, and I think it's got some other colors in it. But I kind of helped with that one. Wouldn't mind getting one in a 45 and using it as a suppressor host. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, I have suppressors, but I'm not a huge, other than a 22 pistol. I am personally not a big pistol, like 9mm and 45 person. Not a big suppressor fan on a pistol, like a center fire cartridge pistol. However, if that was on a PDW, like a 9mm PDW PCC thing, or a 45 PCC PDW, yeah, that's cool. I mean, you definitely want those suckers quiet. But just shooting it on a pistol, I've done that, been there, got hat and a t-shirt. It just doesn't do much for me personally. Not saying it's not fun. It's just not constant. Like I wouldn't want to just grab it and go out and shoot it on my pistol all the time, except for my 22 can. Yeah, I don't know, Pistol Pete. I was talking about that also. I know Texas Gun Experience is going to have some, but you're right. Some of those in the past have been super weak. So I don't know. I'm sure PSA, um, you know, uh, Primary Arms, I'm sure they're going to have some stuff, but who knows what it's going to be. Hey, thanks, Brian. I really appreciate you, man. Yeah, and I know that Texas Gun Experience is having some pretty good sales too. And remember, they're trying to push that credit card crap, where you're going to be put on a list if you buy certain parts and all this other crap. Honestly, I don't give two shits, whatever. I don't think they should be knocking on my door. but you never know. Yes, Ranger, you're exactly right. Um, I'm seeing it quite a bit at gun stores too. It's just kind of hit and miss. It's not everybody knocking down the doors trying to buy everything in the world, but you know, hopefully that'll pick back up. And then I'm sure after SHOT Show, people are going to have some other stuff coming out. There's been rumors of all kinds of cool stuff coming out, so we'll see if it officially comes out or if it's not just SHOT Show, just whatever like they did with the DWX and stuff. Just oh, we're going to come out with this, and they never do. But Pistol Pete, I've been on a list for 100 years. That's what I said too. I've been on a list forever. So it is what it is. I don't give two shits. You are welcome, Lake Ozark guy. I appreciate it. And I appreciate, again, all of y'all being on the chat. Hit that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. We want to get all the message out to everyone. We want everyone on our side. Guns, good guys with guns, good guys and good ladies with guns save lives. So they never talk about it, but it happens every day. So, we deserve to be heard also. But yeah, smash it. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have any questions or comments after the chat, please leave them. We will talk about them next week. And again, I've got another video that'll be dropping on Friday. Please check it out if you're interested. I really appreciate it. But let's see. I'll answer this one real quick. How many polymer pistol variants can be made? I think it's run its course. I agree. Like I said, what's the latest and greatest next piece of Tupperware that's going to come out? There's going to be more. So it is what it is. But, I look at it this way. It just gives people different options. If it benefits someone out there, I don't care who it is, that's a plus in my book. I don't, if it's something that I don't care for, but somebody's like, hey, this is exactly what I've been looking for, I am all for it. I want everybody on our side, and choice has never hurt anyone. 31 flavors, like I said, there's 31 flavors of ice cream. Everybody can choose what they want, and that's a great thing to have. So thanks, everyone. Y'all tune into Chris's chat if you'd like to. Leave your comments below, and I will get back to y'all. Everyone have a great night. Thank you so much for participating. Hit that thumbs up, and y'all have a blessed evening, and stay safe. Love one another, and we will do this next week. Take care, everyone.